put it in my notes. I could put it in a bun. I could put it in a bun. Okay. So okay. I don't really like doing it this way. We're here now. And also, this makes it easier for whenever my reader. Oh, you guys can't see my. Okay. Let me go back. Let me see if I can share my notes. Okay. Here we go. So, I have Grammarly on here because. So, oops. Going back to make this a little easier to read. Can I change? Let's do this first. Let's focus on one thing. One thing at a time. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't think it's that long, but you know, I feel like it's the perfect scene. I don't know if you guys remember the scene where they're all in detention, and so let's see how we can. Can I not put it in the middle? Middle justified? I think that's. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Okay, it won't be middle justified today. I know that. Okay, this is what happens when you have Google Docs, but we're pivoting. Okay, so we're going to read it. So, Heather, so I talked to John. It was sweet. He felt bad. He said that you were jealous because we share something special, something that we didn't have to label because it's our unspoken bond. And I just love how secure you are. And it hurts me to hear you question it because you're the only girl for me. And then, damn, he said the same thing to all of us. Figures. He makes up with us and then he hooks up with us. You guys hooked up? John and I share something special. Oh, what? That you've both been in your pants? We share a vegan, non-violent outlook on life. Hippie slut. Oh, nice, Heather. It's not like everyone doesn't know that Little Miss Cheerleader brings it on. Look, you too? John and I belong together. He is the team captain, and I am the head cheerleader. Oh, I'm sorry. What kind of cheerleader? Oh, please, like he take either of you seriously. Don't lump me with her. Oh, so now you're better than me. Shut up. So, y'all get the point. So, um, obviously, the most important part of a self tape is going to be dun, 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 the first 5 seconds. So, you kind of get the gist of like, oh no, what happened? Okay, I guess not. So you kind of get the gist of like, okay, think about the setting, who you're with, and who you are. Um, Obviously, Heather is the. Oh, I think I missed something. Hold on. Oh, John and I. He is a team captain, and I'm the head cheerleader. So yeah, so she's the head cheerleader, which is important. Obviously, when you're cheerleading in high school, you probably have your pom poms or your bag, your book bag, your cheerleading bag, especially if you're in detention. You probably have practice after. If you're in detention, you're probably working on homework. So you probably have a pen and a pencil or a binder or your regular backpack. Um, what else? Uh, Obviously, she's in there with the girls that she was. Wow. That they had PE together. So she kind of is going into this knowing. She's kind of going into this knowing that she's gonna see them again, and that she's gonna mention what happened between her and John and clear the air. So we can kind of make that our overall objective. So I kind of want to make this. Let's just so I know the difference between things in life. So the overall objective, I would put Um, we can choose, prove prove I'm right and you're wrong. Or we can go with what's something like more personable. Something, easy. Prove John loves me more than you. Uh and basically overall objective is just something that you want to get out of the scene from somebody else. What else? Um uh let's just stick with those. I'm sorry, this is just irritating my soul. Okay, and so now we need a moment before. So for my moments before, um, I kind of do something to put myself in the headspace. So in the literal movie, she literally just got done talking to John right before she went to detention. So my moment before, something I tell myself before I even start like the scene or the audition or recording. Um, you know, you put John walked me to detention and told and gave me a kiss. So with that, I kind of imagine myself like if he just gave me a kiss and I'm sitting down in tension, like obviously I'm thinking about him and I'm getting ready to tell the girls or prove to the girls that John loves me more than them. So, you can do something like or kind of touch your lips. 'Cause you're thinking about the kiss and how you're gonna make them feel bad. Like, hmm. And so I forgot I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen again. So gosh. Mesh, I hope one of you feel special. So that's what the moment before I gave myself. So then a doing, you always want to have a doing. So the doing right before the scene starts or before you say your first line. Um filling your lips. I'm gonna say filling slash touching because I may not. Okay, so filling slash touching your lips, daydreaming. Daydreaming. And then it kind of gets ruined because you remember you're in detention with the other girls that have also been with John Tucker. Um, so and then other thing, you can always have a prop. You can have a pencil, paper, binder. What else would you have when you're in detention? You don't have your phone. Um, yeah. Okay. So then we're gonna go through and we're gonna kind of take whatever like I guess would be deemed important, things in the scene. Um, one that might affect my character, especially something to kind of react to and how to react to it, and then also why I choose these particular words to say to these girls. Because the very first thing I say is, so I talked to John. And I feel like that's kind of establishing um, not dominance. That's that word I'm looking for. Ownership. I like that. Kind of like ownership. Kind of like I own him. I'm trying to think about. I haven't done it on this. I usually do it on Google Docs. So I got y'all. Ignore my stuff on the side. So I'm just gonna put in parentheses. Do, 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 do. Okay. So I just put ownership. And that just changes the way you say the whole line. So I talked to John. It's mine. So I talked to John. And obviously, and then you brag. And obviously, you don't ever want to like premeditate what you're gonna say, but this kind of just helps like where like having an opinion and a perspective of your character that makes it come to life and what you're talking about instead of just saying, "Oh, it was sweet," and like it was sweet, and that makes somebody feel jealous. You want them to feel jealous. Okay, it was sweet. He felt bad. Like, oh, poor you. You know, I don't want to put fake pity. I'm just gonna put that just for craps and giggles. I'm gonna say pettiness. Petty slash pity. I feel like I just came up with that. Maybe I'm doing something new. Okay. Says he okay, I hope y'all can see this. He said that you were jealous. See? You see that? So as we're breaking this down, we get to see that it goes from ownership to bragging to petty and slash pity. And he felt bad. He said that you were jealous. And about I said that earlier that essentially she came into this thinking that she wanted to make them jealous and prove that John likes her, but loves, even though he never says it, but they think that John loves them. So we're gonna go with that. So all this kind of leads up to he said that you were jealous because we share something special. Something that we didn't have to label because it's our. And then this is whenever all the girls kind of like, well, he said the same thing to me. Our unspoken bond. And I just love how secure you are. And it hurts me to hear you question it. Because you're the only girl for me. And then it says Heather freezes, realizing. And obviously, I'm gonna put like embarrassment. And obviously not something that you want to show. You kind of cover it up like sorry, I can't spell y'all. It's not something you want to show. But just noting something that she's feeling. It's not excitement and it's not realization or relief, but embarrassment because she came into this thinking, I'm going to make them jealous. Like, I'm trying to think of a time where you like try and brag about something and you try and make somebody jealous and they're like, oh, yeah, like I did the same thing. And you're kind of just like, oh, sorry. That's embarrassing. So, and then again, this embarrassment leads to your next line like, damn. Even to yourself, like, damn. He said that same thing to all of us. So, and again, I'm just like putting these here to like kind of suggest things to myself of how it could be played and what leads to the next line. So, um, and obviously I learned in acting class once I never thought about is you can always there's three words that there's three people you're talking to when you deliver a line. Three things. You're either talking to your scene partner, you're talking to yourself, or you're talking out loud in general. So I'm talking to a scene partner. You're just like, you can say, he said the same thing to all of us, right? You're saying that he said the same thing to all of us. You're asking someone. Or you could say it to yourself, damn, he said the same thing to all of us. Just gives a completely different inflection. Or you can do, he said the same thing to all of us. Can you believe it? So, obviously, I'm not really acting, but you guys get the gist. So then it says figures. He makes up with us and then he hooks up with us. And then somebody says, you guys hooked up? And she says, John and I share something special. So obviously this is a new beat. And so we're talking about all of us being with John instead of just Heather being with John. So in this new beat, one, it's obviously about hooking up and sex, obviously. and um, the realization of kind of like everything coming together. And also, like, then you have to think about why it's important in the scene. He makes up with us and then he hooks up with us. You guys hooked up, and John and I share something special. This is kind of where everybody kind of, you kind of see everybody's dynamic in their relationship with John, because two of them have hooked up with John and one hasn't. And then it kind of makes you, and then you had to think about where your character stands. Okay, obviously Heather has hooked up with John and another person has hooked up with John. And so that kind of makes you feel like you're at a disadvantage, at least for your character. John and I share something special. Oh, what? That you've both been in your pants? We share a vegan, nonviolent outlook on life. Hippie sluts. And again, now you're jealous. Again, because now you realize that you're not the only person that has hooked up with John. Hippie sluts. Hopefully I can say that on here. And then she says, "Oh, nice, Heather. It's not like everyone doesn't know Little Miss Cheerleader brings it on." So now you finally realize how your character is viewed by the girls and also maybe by the whole school or other people. When I say it's not like, so I'm just going to put perspective, because this is somebody's perspective of you. This is somebody's perspective of you. Oh, nice, Heather. It's not like everyone doesn't know that Little Miss Cheerleader brings it on. And then so you go from jealous. Now that you're jealous and she's made this little snarky comment, now you're kind of defensive and you had to defend yourself. You know, like, oh, well, hold on. Look here. And again, this is where now Carrie doesn't know. They're all finding out who's hooked up with who. And now everybody's not impression, but what is that word called? What is that thing called whenever somebody's like, my whole word of you has changed? My whole, oh my gosh, what is that word I'm looking for? I mean, like somebody's disappointed of you. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. It's not important. So, and then again, she's defending herself again. John and I belong together. He is the team captain, and I am the head cheerleader. And then she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. What kind of cheerleader?" And somebody says, "Oh, please, like he'd take either of you seriously." And then somebody says, "Do not lump me with her." And then I say, "Oh, so now you're better than me." And you want to end this, you always want to end the scene with a bang as well, especially if the casting directors, watch it thus far. Kind of want to give them I forgot what it's called. A bell, a whistle? I don't remember. It's a specific term that's called whenever you end a scene. But you kind of want to give it like a memorable moment. So, I don't know what would be. I'm trying to think of a memorable moment or something that's memorable that like something that I would choose to do, or that's like something that like nobody else would do. Who else? Like if some other people would send in this audition. Oh, so now you think you're better than me? You can kind of laugh. I'm just gonna put different options, like laugh in her face. Like you're stupid if you think you're better than me. Like, and obviously you can go the typical. I feel like the typical thing to do would kind of be like the mad. Oh, so you think you're better than me? I'm not gonna add mad. You can laugh in her face. Maybe you can mock her. Um, I'm trying to think of something physically that you could physicalize. Uh, what's something that you could physicalize? We're in detention, and I'm sitting with two other girls that have hooked up with the same guy that I'm talking to. and they just found out that I hooked up with him as well, officially, so to speak. Oh, so so now you think you're better than me. Like, I'm trying to think of something to physicalize that and like make it memorable. So I have a pencil in my hand. I have a book. I don't know. I just had an idea. You just try things. Kind of maybe throw the textbook. If you're going to take something to the extreme, you might as well take it to the extreme because, oh, so now you're better than me? Kind of seems boring. But if you throw a textbook, not even at her, but if you just throw a textbook away, oh, so now you're better than me. Or how else can you physicalize it? Um, trying to think of what you could do with the pencil. Maybe you could be sharpening the pencil, sharpening it a little harder. Oh, so now you think you're better than me. I don't know. Um, and I feel like, you kind of want to like leave like the casting director wanting more, like, and then she says shut up, and so now you're just like, what happens? Like, obviously I'm not a casting director, so I don't know. I'm just an actress. I'm trying to make some characters come alive, and I feel like these are kind of things that you want to always humanize your character. You always want to make them have an opinion, physicalize them, and do something that's human. Like I said, laughing, because at this point, whenever people get defensive, they kind of sometimes they sometimes they laugh. They'll laugh in your face, and that makes you feel even more offended when somebody starts laughing at you and you're mad at them. Um, I don't know. Obviously, I'm gonna think a little bit more about it. Um, and so now that we have kind of got the script done and we have broken it down a little bit, so to speak, I'm gonna remember the lines, and then I'm going to actually self tape this and I'm gonna post it. And then you guys tell me what you guys like about it, what you guys think about how the breakdown translated into the scene. And yeah, we're going to do some more of these. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live and come back for more. Bye.